Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast episode 1361, Networking Riches Day 1 and self-care. So we had Networking Riches today. It was the second time that we were doing version 2.0, and it was a pretty good day. We had a good group of people there. We had some interactions with them. It was just nice. And as always, you always learn things along the way. Picked up new things for my business. I got to find my notes because I can't remember now because the brain kind of gets fried during this time. But most of my time is spent doing some admin work. But I do get to hear the odd nugget come through, and I go, oh, yeah. And I'll write that down. I'm just going to finish doing this, and then I got to write it down. I'm like, what the heck was that nugget? But I am thankful that I am able to watch the recordings when they come out, so I can go back and actually just watch. So I'm looking forward to when the recordings come out, so I can just go back and watch it again, so I can pick up those nuggets that I got today that I didn't get a chance to write down. But I do know there were some good nuggets in there because there always is. And being our new release version of this, there's always new stuff to learn. We had a fantastic breakthrough session today, and if you've watched me in the past about Networking Riches, you always know that is my absolute favorite part of the event is the breakthrough zones, and we had such a blast in that one, and it was a really good one today too. Lots of different ideas coming out of that one, so it was good. But like I said, I can't wait to watch the recording so I can actually sit and watch it at my pace and my time and write down my golden nuggets that I heard today, and then promptly forgot because I was tied up doing other stuff. But that's okay. We did have good participation today, and it was just a really cool day. And it's an early start for me, 8 a.m. When I'm out of daylight savings, it's a 9 a.m. start, so I get to stretch a little bit and walk around for a little. Yeah, it was an 8 a.m. start this morning. It'll be an 8 a.m. start tomorrow, but that's okay. That's okay because I get to meet some really cool people. And we had people there we really do go international with this. We had, let's see, the UK was represented, Canada was represented, Australia was represented. There was, where else were people from? Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, US, what other places? I think that was it. So, yeah, we do go international. So it was really good to talk with people from different countries and to learn together and just network, and it was a lot of fun. So and then we followed that up. So after the thing finished, we did the team debrief, and then I was like, I am so fried. It was like, it's nap time, self-care time. Whenever we have a Networking Riches, I just finish up with whatever little admin work I've got left to do, if any. And then I just go and lay down on the bed with Zeffie, and because she's usually in there asleep. And I had to pull the headphones out today because I had both AC units running today because we're up in the 90s today. And so I got a little warm inside. In fact, now down to 78 inside. It was up at 83 at one point. So I had them both running full blast today. But yeah, it was nice just to go afterwards and go and just relax and take care of me, do some self-care time, having a nap, just reading for a bit, having a nap, and then watching insane TikTok videos. No, actually, there's my Facebook Reels. I love the ones with the animals and where they do the voiceovers and the animals are doing crazy stuff. They had this one with this cat. There's been a couple of videos. I was like, cats can jump that high? And they started off with like a piece of blue painter's tape across the door, and the cat jumped over it. They ended up with like about 8 or 9 of them, and they were several inches apart, and the cat would just sit there and over the top. And I'm sort of like, really? And they did this on the last one. They did the slow-mo showing the cat going over, and it just amazes me what animals are capable of and that sort of stuff as well. But there were some good laughs in there too. And I have a friend who's recovering from surgery, so I told her, laughter's the best medicine. And so I've been saving up reels, and so I've been going through my save reels and just forwarding them over to her. Sorry. Oh, there it is. To get it. So I had something, bit of, I don't know, fluff something, I don't know. But it's always important to take care of self-care, especially when you're doing something as intense as being at a conference or a seminar or a workshop. They can be very brain draining on you. So to help keep the brain going, you got to, with me, I make sure that I have healthy snacks on board, that I have protein available. Got to have the protein available. And I try and stay away from the sugar, because the sugar will give you that peak and then you drop, and then peaks and then you drop. So I stay away from anything with sugar. If it has sugar in it, it's got to have more protein than sugar in it. But I just try to stay on the healthy side of snacks. And I actually, and somebody said, well, how do you get through the day? Because you seem to be so busy. I said, I prepare the day before, and I make sure I get the snacks in. And I do like a charcuterie snacky thing. And basically, it's just I prepare snacks, I have them in the refrigerator, and if I could have a charcuterie board out where I can nibble all day, I would do that. But I don't like eating when I'm on the camera. So when we have breaks, let's go over, open up the fridge. Oh, we'll have this part of the charcuterie board right now. So lots of good, healthy stuff there. A lot of protein shake. I have protein shakes that are prepped, ready to go. Just need a quick shake to put them back in again, because you only get like about 10-minute break, and then we had a 45-minute break, 10-minute breaks throughout the day, and a 45-minute break for lunch. And so I was able to keep the energy up. But of course, it's still a brain drain. And I was operating on very little sleep. I did not sleep well last night. And I'm trying to think back. I'm like, why didn't I sleep so well? And look back, what did I eat before going to bed? And how long before I go into bed did I eat it? So that's part of self-care too, is turning around and like, I don't like to eat past 8 p.m. Because I find I don't get to sleep very well. And of course, dinner went across that 8 p.m. barrier last night. I was like, damn it. So my body knows, I know, because I can see what the body does. So tune in, learn to tune into your body and listen to what it needs. And especially if somebody like me, where if you eat past a certain time in the evening, you're going to toss and turn for a little bit in the evening. So try to make sure that you watching the clock and that you get that food in before that time, before that cutoff time type of thing. I thought, it's just a few minutes past 8. We'll be fine. Yeah, no, it didn't work. And stay hydrated. That was the other thing too, stay hydrated. So I have my water bottle here, and so I made a comment on it. It says, it's a 32-ounce water bottle. And I'll probably get filled up, 4 or 5 times throughout the day. I'm on, that's bottle number 4 sitting right there. So, it's important. So when you finish with your especially if it's online, it's easier, because if you're actually I find that if I'm in person, there's always those meetings after the meetings, which I absolutely love. But being an introvert, being in a group of people, it drains my energy, and so I need that alone time to recharge. And I find I tend to burn myself out at in-person conferences, because I'm constantly around people, and I'm always going to those meetings finding the meetings after the meetings. And even if you just go and sit in I'm going to go have dinner, and you go and sit in the restaurant or something, you end up networking with people while you're sitting having dinner, because they stop by the table to chit chat with you, or may sit down and join you for a meal, or you might get invited to go and join another table or something like that. So one thing I like about online is that once the meeting is done, we're done. And so that's reading time and nap time, and maybe putting on, I have an eye mask that's got contoured eye places for the eyes, which is really cool, because when they're contoured, it means you can open and close your eyes behind it, and there's no pressure no pressure on the actual eyes themselves, and you can open and close, and you don't feel your eyelashes hitting anything. But the cool part about this headband, it has speakers, so you can just lay there, and sometimes I'll just put on some calming music, maybe do meditation that helps me center myself with the breathing, especially in the breathing ones. So doing the breathing exercises that allow you to relax, to let go and recharge. So I like doing those at times as well. And I keep that eye mask right by the bed. So when I go in there, and I have to take the phone with me because it's synced to the phone, Bluetooth to the phone. But it's just making sure you have that self-care, because by having that self-care, I know that when we go in for day 2 tomorrow, I will be revved up, ready to go. And then when we finish, it's nap time. Although tomorrow we may actually go for a drive. I don't know. I kind of felt like going for a drive afterwards just to get out of the RV. And I went in and Zeffie's like, she's just like stretched out there and she looks so comfortable. She arranged the blankets so she had this nice pillow under her head. She had her feet tucked under another. She's got like 4 blankets that sits on her side of the bed. She had her feet tucked under some of them. She was quite cozy and quite relaxed. And she just like opens her eyes and looks at me as if say, "Oh, are you done?" I'm like, "Yeah." I go, I can either come and have a nap with you or we could go for a ride in the car. And she just looks at me and just closes her eyes. And I'm like, "Nap time." And she likes her rides in the car. So she was like, she was in the zone. She was in the resting zone. She was in the self-care zone. So I thought, where are we going to go for our drive? We're going to have like a destination in place or something like that. But sometimes. And so like if I end up going on a drive, we'll probably end up going through a drive-through and getting junk food, and not going to happen. So we decided to, and I thought ice cream would be good. And I'm like, yeah, I really don't need the sugar, right? Especially right now, because again, through this evening, I'll just stay away from the sugar stuff, the refined sugars and all of that. Like I did for breakfast this morning, I'll do it for dinner tonight. And then tomorrow for breakfast will not be anything with refined sugars in them. It might be natural sugars like bananas, blueberries, blackberries. I kind of like those combos together. And and dried craisins. And so it's, part of that self-care thing. It's making sure that I stay away from the refined sugars so I'm more mentally alert. So tomorrow I will be kicked off, raring to go for Networking Riches Day 2, which is another favorite day of mine because we get to do more breakthrough zones on day 2 than we did on day 1. Because day 1 we usually get 1, maybe 2 breakthrough zones in, but on day 2 we always get 2, maybe 3. And the last Networking Riches on day 2, we were doing a review of the day before. We were reviewing day 1, and because there were some people who couldn't come on day 1 and just arrived on day 2, so we do a recap in the morning, just for those that were there to remind them what we talked about the day before, and for those that hadn't been there on day 1, they got caught up with us. And in the middle of all of this, they ended up doing this impromptu breakthrough zone, and it was awesome. It was just amazing, and everybody got a lot out of that one, and so that was kind of cool. And you got to see the process and everything. It was magic. It was magical. So kind of hoping I like these impromptu ones. Somebody asks a question and you end up, and Casey seems to know when to go a little deeper on something. And so he went a little deeper with this guy last time, and we ended up with an amazing impromptu breakthrough zone. So maybe we'll have another one tomorrow. Who knows? I don't know. But if we don't, it's okay, because we've got the other breakthrough zones coming up. But the breakthrough zones are just amazing because I always learn something in the breakthrough zones. And I love watching people's reactions to what's happening in the breakthrough zone. And you start seeing these little light bulbs going off in people's heads, and it's sort of like, oh, and you see the penny drop, or the look on their faces. They say, oh, I didn't think of that. And then you see them writing it down. It's kind of cool. And I actually did get to write some notes down on that one, but you'll see, because some of those ones I'm in the process of implementing, or I am going to be implementing them. So it was just another reinforcement of things I have to do for my businesses. So we'll see how that goes. But overall, day 1, it was awesome. It was a great day, good energy, and just having woken up from, I don't know what falling around me. Being able to have that quiet time just to recharge, just by laying on the bed and reading. And I have my favorite snuggle blanket there as well. That's what and then just before I was looking through, and that was today. And I caught this video, and I was like, oh my God, are you serious? And I didn't have a chance to look it up, so I just had a quick look at it. And yes, it was true that so there was this comedian who I grew up with, one of my favorite comedians, There was this guy called Barry Humphries, and he had this alter ego that was called Dame Edna Everage. And he as Dame Edna was priceless. And he actually passed away in Australia on April 22nd, which would have been yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, our time. But I caught it in the feed on Facebook because one of my all-time favorite singers and entertainers, which is Cliff Richard, who is a British entertainer, never really made it in the United States, but the rest of the world. The very first concert I ever went to was one of his concerts, and he's been around since 1950. Yeah, he was 21 in 1950, I think it was. I think it's 1950. 1958 was when he first, and he still does concerts and shows and everything else today. And he actually had posted about Barry Humphries passing away, and he had this video from a time that he was on the Dame Edna show, and it was them singing one of his songs called "I Could Easily Fall in Love with You," and I have to tell you, it was hilarious. And he said he didn't know that Barry Humphries could sing, and then when he started singing, he was like, "Oh my gosh, he really can't sing." But he was dressed as Dame Edna Everage, and the video was just absolutely. It was like a short 3-minute video of him on the show, and they're doing a duet to the song. You got one person who is a well-known singer, and you got the other person who cannot sing a note. And it was priceless. And so I got to see that video just before I came online, so I was very happy to see that. But sad to hear that Barry Humphries passed away, but he was, 89, I think he was. So he'd had a really good long career, and if you can ever find any videos on Dame Edna, go watch them. He was a really cool entertainer. So thank you, Barry, for all the years that you've given us Dame Edna, and thank you. That's all I can say to these celebrities when they pass, is just thank you for sharing your talents with us, because you gave so much laughter or entertainment to the world, and he definitely gave a lot of laughter. I remember watching the Dame Edna show when we were kids, and not understanding some of the jokes, but later on when I saw video clips of some of the earlier stuff he did, I got them. A little younger back then. But anyway, so that's it for today. It was a really good day of networking riches. I'm looking forward to day 2 tomorrow to see what it brings, especially through the breakthrough zones and all of that. And just remember that when you've been to things like this, make sure that you take care of yourself, especially if you're on multi-day events. Just take care of yourself. Take that time at the end of the event. And a lot of the times too, what I do is I put I finish off the admin stuff. But if I'm actually there as a participant, like full participant, not doing things in the background, I tend to just put my notes down, put my notes away, go have a rest, and then I may come back to them later on. I'll come back to them, later on this evening to have a look through my notes, take some highlight some things, make other notes on the notes, like a to-do list from the notes and that sort of thing. And it seems to, if I tried to do it after the session ended, it wouldn't look pretty, because I was sitting there going, oh my gosh, what did they say about that? I got this little phrase written here. What the heck was that about? But if I take that time to break, rest, refresh, do my self-care, then come back to them, so like, oh yeah. And sometimes I'll even read them the morning of the day of day 2, just as a refresher for when we go back, and continue on. But yeah, I can't wait for the recording, because I did miss a lot today. But I do know there were golden nuggets that I didn't get a chance to write down, and I was like, damn. Otherwise, I would have shared some with you. But I just, and I've been to Networking Riches since, like, I missed 2.5, I think now, of them over the last 9 years that these have been going. And, which reminds me, Casey, if you're watching this video, we've got to do a celebration next year, because it'll be 10 years in May since you did your first Networking Riches. And in June, it'll be 10 years this is for 2024, looking at a year ahead. So in May, it will be the 10-year anniversary of Networking Riches, and in June, it'll be the 10-year anniversary of his very first Platinum Inner Circle meeting, so mastermind. So might have to get on to him about that one. So Casey, if you're watching, we're going to do something for the 10-year anniversary. Anyway, I'm out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic sparkling day. We're going to go for you ready for a walk, Zeph? Thought she came out here. Oh, there you are. She's hiding. You ready for a walk? Oh yeah, she's ready. So we're up, we're out. Go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening. Remember, self-care. It is important. It is important for not only your mental health, but your physical health, your mind, body, and soul. It is great for all of those things. So remember to do some self-care, and I've got things flying around here. But go out and have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Hey, konera.